Good evening, everyone. My name is Elvira Sumalinog, and as you all know, my parents are Virginia and Aurelio Sumalinog. Thank you for having me tonight to share with you the joys, my joy of having them as my parents and how they are instruments of who I am today. During my younger years of growing up in the Philippines, I remember my parents to be very dedicated in their work, but I will stop short from calling them workaholics. When I was a very young girl, Dad would be assigned in Leyte to manage the power plant and thus would be gone for weeks. Sometimes I had a hard time remembering who he was, but he always made up for that by treating us with special bibingka. On the other hand, my mom too has always been a career woman herself, taking up law on top of being a supervisor for debts. Despite these, my parents took every effort to ensure that we were well taken care of. All four of us would tag along with Mom wherever she went for seminars, and these would then become mini vacations, such as the time when we went to Singapore and Baguio. Ang style po ni Mommy was to attend the first 2 days of her seminars, and for the rest of the week, she would let us tour around the city, whether it was to see the botanical gardens in Singapore or ride horses in Baguio's Ride Park. Si Dad naman po is very simple and modest and likes to lead by example. He had his own mechanic shop in the Philippines that was twice the size of our house here in Edmonton. I remember being startled by the sound of a hammer banging at 5 in the morning. Yun pala, Daddy was making his pails so he could sell them in the fish market. Note that these pails would only cost 50 pesos a piece, but Dad wanted us to learn at an early age the value of money and hard work. Dad would gather us in the sala, armed with a cartolina and pencil pen, to teach us a thing or two about geometry and algebra. Admittedly, Mom and Dad have different styles of raising us, but they worked well for our well-being. Our parents really wanted us to both be exposed to and experience in the cultures of the world. They encouraged us to play instruments, participate in school competitions, and just enjoy life and be happy. Of course, when I got into my adolescence, the pressure of having them as my parents started to become clear. They were respected and looked upon by people in our community, and my life then became a question of how do I live up to their names, to people's expectations of me because of them. To some, this could be overwhelming and discouraging. To me, however, it was an inspiration. The best thing about it was that my parents themselves never put pressure on me, saying, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. In fact, they supported whatever my choices were. When I was on the crossroads after finishing high school and I could not make up my mind about university, they supported me on taking a year off to find out for myself what I really wanted to do. And when the time came when I chose to move to Butte, Montana, USA, to finish my studies in petroleum engineering, my parents were financially and emotionally supportive. They had never had any of their kids be on their own completely away from home, but they were there because they knew it was my dream to be a part of Alberta's oil industry. And now I'm back home. My parents are never modest to show their pride for us. And a few weeks ago, it was my younger brother Raphael's turn to leave home for London, UK to do his master's. That's how my parents are. They love us enough to let us fly as far away as we wanted to achieve our dreams and still keep the door open to us for any time we wanted to come home. I believe that the great love that my parents have for each other is founded upon the faith in God that binds us together as a family. At an early age, they have shown us the importance of devotion and the practice of our Catholic faith. In the Philippines, we were already accustomed to going to pilgrimages for Our Lady of Manaoag in Pangasinan. It was a very beautiful and unforgettable experience when we ended up sleeping in a McDonald's branch and waiting for hours in line to touch the veil of Our Lady. And every Lent season, our entire family, including our extended family, would gather to perform the Visita Iglesia, going all over the island of Cebu to pray in 14 churches. Here in Canada, we are able to continue the practice of our faith by attending pilgrimages in Scaro, attending retreats in Apatha House, and of course, through organizations such as Couples for Christ. And I thank God every day for blessing me, us, the four of us, with parents such as them. And I pray always for every parent to be as loving and supportive of their children as ours are to us. Thank you, and God bless us all.